Well, the birth of a newborn baby is an extraordinary thing, but what happens when babies are delivered too early, especially critically premature? Should these tiny beings struggling for life be allowed to die a natural death, or should parents have the right to fight for their lives, lives that will more often than not endure some form of disability? This ethical debate has been closely studied by Dr. Dominic Wilkinson, Associate Professor of Neonatal Medicine and Bioethics at the Women's...
Smile, Dom!
Joins me now. Also joining us from Melbourne is the founder of Life's Little Treasures, Parul Shah. And in the studio is Susie O'Brien, a columnist for the Herald Sun. Good morning to you all. Dr. Wilkinson, I will begin with you. How do you determine whether or not you fight for a child's life who is born at 22, 23 weeks? What sort of factors are involved?
Well, these are babies born just on the very edge of life, on the edge of our ability to save them. Very small numbers from each year, perhaps 50 or 60 in Australia born before 24 weeks gestation each year. And when we're trying to work out what we're going to do if these babies are going to be born, we spend a lot of time talking to the parents, or as much time as we're able to work out what's important for them. And we look at all the information that we have about these babies, how premature they are, how big they might be, treatments that the mother might have had before they're born, evidence that the baby is, for example, sick before they're born. And one of the things that we've done very recently is to look back in time at the very smallest of these babies, those born weighing less than half a kilogram at birth, to try and get some better information for parents and for clinicians to help guide these very difficult decisions.
So, Susie, I'll bring you in here. This research that Dr. Wilkinson has released, how do you think it will help parents in what is an ethical and emotional minefield in a turbulent time in their lives?
Well, I think it's going to help parents give a little bit more certainty in terms of what the outcomes might be. I mean, these are parents who quite often have to make these decisions in very tight time frames. And I spoke to a woman for the Herald Sun, she's on the front page of the Herald Sun today. She had 15 minutes. She was basically herself bleeding to death in the labour ward. And she was told that she had to decide in a 15-minute period whether her baby, who was born at 23 weeks, weighing 500 grams, these babies are so tiny that you can shine a torch through them and see their organs. And so she had to decide whether they were going to give life-saving resuscitation or let the baby die naturally. And what Dr. Wilkinson's research shows is that babies born at that point, 500 grams, 2 punnets of strawberries, and at 22, 23 weeks, don't survive. And in his 6-year study, they looked at 36 babies in this category. Not one of them survived, only one of them survived with a severe disability.
Parul, I'll bring you in here. You're the director of Life's Little Treasures Foundation, and you deal with helping severely disabled children. We read so much when you're pregnant or someone you know is pregnant, what's going on with the baby at 20 weeks? They might be growing fingernails, they might be growing cartilage. We don't have a lot of information out there on the eventuation that your baby might be, in fact, born at 22, 23 weeks. Do you think more education needs to be out there for parents to be?
I think it's just important that parents are made aware that not all babies end up being born healthy at full term, that there could be chances of early birth. And if the doctors or the obstetricians, or if they're in that higher risk category, I think